Okay, we're going to talk about leading through scale this time around. Okay, let's give a context. You have just closed your Series B. Celebration is epic. Press releases out there. The team completely pumped up and energized. But as you walked into the office the next Monday, a sobering realization hit. Everything that got you here won't get you there. The scrappy startup playbook that carried you through Series A is about to become your biggest liability. So welcome. Welcome to the Series B paradox. You need to scale like a big company while maintaining the nimbleness and the agility of a startup. And the execs who master this transition do not just survive, they build the foundation for long-term industry dominance. So let's talk about the scale inflection point. Series B is where companies either accelerate toward market leadership or begin their slow descent into mediocrity. The difference is not product market fit. You already proved that. It's not funding. You just raised 20 million, 50 million. The difference is whether your leadership team can evolve from startup operators to scale architects. And here's what changes. Your decisions now affect 50 to 150 people instead of 15 to 25 people. Your mistakes might cost millions, not thousands. Your competitors are not startups. You're now on the radar of established players with billion-dollar treasury. So most importantly, you can no longer solve problems through heroic individual effort. You need systems, you need processes, and scalable decision-making frameworks. The question is, can you build these while maintaining the speed and innovation that got you here? So let's talk about the leadership evolution metrics. As a Series B exec, you are managing 4 critical transitions simultaneously. First, from doing to delegating. Your value is no longer in executing tasks, but in enabling others to execute better than you could alone. This is terrifying for most founders and early execs because it requires trusting others with the quality standards that defined your early success. Second, from intuition to data, the gut instincts that guided your early decisions must now be validated and scaled through metrics and systems. You cannot personally review every hire, approve every expense, or guide every product decision. You need frameworks that encode your judgment into repeatable processes. Third, from reaction to anticipation. At Series A, you could afford to be reactive, fixing problems as they arose, pivoting when necessary. But at Series B, you need to anticipate challenges months in advance. Your planning horizon extends from quarterly to annual, and your decisions create momentum that is often harder to change. So one of the imperative in system building for most successful Series B execs is that they become obsessed with building systems that preserve their startup DNA while enabling enterprise scale execution. This is not about bureaucracy, it is about intelligent automation of decisions and processes. Let's take the example of hiring, okay? At Series A, you interviewed every candidate. At Series B, you need hiring systems that consistently identify great fits while scaling to dozens of hires per quarter. That means developing interview frameworks, cultural assessment tools, onboarding systems that replicate your judgment at scale. Consider decision making. You can no longer be the bottleneck for every important choice. You need clear frameworks for what decisions require your input versus what can be delegated. Amazon's one-way and two-way door framework is not corporate speak. It's a scaling tool that preserves speed while preventing catastrophic mistakes. The goal is not to eliminate human judgment, but to systemize it so great decisions happen even when you are not in the room. So let's talk about the competitive landscape transformation in this dynamics. Your competitive dynamics fundamentally shift at Series B. You are no longer competing primarily on innovation speed. You are competing on execution excellence and market positioning. Established players start taking you seriously, which means they will try to either acquire you, copy you, or crush you. And this requires a new strategic mindset. You need deeper competitive moats, stronger customer retention, and more predictable growth engines. Your product development shifts from move fast and break things to move fast and build lasting advantages. Start thinking like a chess player, not a poker player. Every strategic move should strengthen your position for the next 3 moves, not just solve today's problem. As I had mentioned before in one of my videos, when Slack prioritized enterprise features over consumer bells and whistles, they were not just following revenue, they were building defensible positioning against Microsoft Teams. Your brand also becomes a strategic asset. At Series A, your customers chose you despite your small size. At Series B, they should choose you because of your unique strengths and market position. So there's a cultural scaling issue that we need to talk about. The hardest Series B challenge is scaling culture without losing it. Your early employees joined a scrappy startup where everyone knew everything. And now you're hiring rapidly. New employees are coming in with new experience. The solution isn't trying to recreate the early days. It's distilling your cultural essence into scalable practices. What made your culture special? Was it radical transparency? Extreme ownership? How about customer obsession? Whatever it was, you need to systematize it. Build cultural onboarding that goes beyond HR presentations. Create mentorship programs that pair new hires with cultural ambassadors. Develop promotional criteria that explicitly reward cultural contributions alongside performance metrics. Most importantly, recognize that your culture will evolve. The question is whether it evolves intentionally toward your values or accidentally toward whoever screams the loudest. There is also the capital efficiency imperative. Series B is not just about having more money, it's about proving that you can deploy the capital efficiently at scale. Your investors are not just betting on your current success, they're betting on your ability to turn the money into sustainable growth. This means developing a sophisticated understanding of unit economics, cohort analysis, and scalable growth channels. You need to prove that doubling your sales team will actually double your revenue, not just double your costs. Build experimentation capabilities that let you test and let you validate before you scale. Whether it is new marketing channels, product features, geographic expansion, prove the model works at small scale before committing significant resources. Remember, Series B investors are evaluating whether you can eventually generate venture scale returns. That means thinking about how your decisions today position you for Series C, IP, or a strategic acquisition. So what is your leadership legacy then? The execs who successfully navigate Series B, they don't just build bigger companies, no. They build better companies. They prove that rapid growth and sustainable practices are not mutually exclusive. They show that scaling can enhance rather than diminish innovation. Your Series B phase sets a foundation for everything that follows. The systems you build, the culture you establish, and the competitive positioning you will create to determine whether you become a market leader or another also ran. The startups that dominate their categories all mastered the Series B transition. They figured out how to preserve their entrepreneurial edge while building enterprise-class execution capabilities. The question isn't whether you will face these challenges, it is whether you will master them before your competitors do. Your market leadership depends on getting this transition right. Start building your scale today. Your future self will thank you.